SYL Fam, welcome back to OTS. Hello. This is episode 3, our first episode of 2026. So today we are talking about the different perspectives in the Singapore Youth League. We'll also be discussing what really matters in the youth football development and also simple matchday habits that will help young players take better care of themselves. This episode is also a little bit different because this is the first time on OTS we have 2 guests and they also share a bit of history within them. So let's get on to it.
Hi, my name is Rizal. I'm from Montfort Junior School and this is our first season in SYL. Glad to be part of SYL Fam.
Hi, I'm Rahman from Flair Football Academy. This is our 3rd season and I'm also glad to be part of the SYL Fam.
Yeah, just a very short first question. What has your focus been so far this season for the past few weeks or months of SYL since it has begun?
I think for us, for Montfort Junior School, it's all about having, getting our toes wet, taking a first step. An objective is definitely to give game time to the boys.
For us being here in the 3rd season, fortunately we've done pretty well for ourselves last season. And but this season suddenly the expectations started to be pretty high. But we try to tell the coaches and the parents to just relax, enjoy the game, do what we've been doing, and we'll see where it takes us.
So coaches, you guys go a long way back before SYL. You guys actually coach a team together, right? Yeah, I actually have a photo which is shared by yourself. Yeah, we have these 2 of them together. Could you explain more about this? Or before you go into that, there's actually a question from the SYL Fam from the username Hanacho who asked, what did you all miss about each other after splitting up at WSPS? What is WSPS?
Oh, okay. WSPS is so this basically from our days at White Sands Primary School. I started out at White Sands Primary from 2014. So in that short time, let's see, I think we were participating in national school games, NSG, as well as other private academy leagues. Yeah. So we had some really memorable moments, last minute winners, last minute equalizers. We got people out of their seats, and there was, until I think we even like the boys, had a fan base following,
Wow.
Yeah. So people came to watch them. Fantastic group of boys. We had couple of generations.
The one thing that stuck to me is that top corner, top bin goal from your son, Yazid. Was it in the semis? It was the semis, isn't it?
Semis, yeah.
The semis, yeah. And yeah, so that was amazing. Everybody, that was the very last minute of the game, and everybody got on their feet, and wow, it was quite an atmosphere.
Nice.
Yeah.
You have a video of that, could you send us to us? And then we'll probably show on the screen now.
Let's get a goal. Nice one. Ilham.
Did you expect both of you to be still involved in youth football today?
I would not expect Rizal to leave the game. And if he does, I would definitely tell him no. Come back to it. We need you.
What's one thing about each other that has not changed?
I think he has always been a very calm, sensible guy. Very proactive. Always reliable, always dependable. So I can always depend on him, or anyone for that matter. Yeah, or he's always thinking over this.
Yeah. How about Rahman? How about one thing not changed about Rizal?
Rizal, something that has not changed. Something that I also quite enjoy or miss from my days at White Sands. Rizal, you can talk to him for hours. He will entertain you. Every phone call that I get from Rizal or every phone call that I make to Rizal, I will set aside 1 to 1.5 hours.
Wow, 1 to 1.5 hours.
So we can have. I love the conversation.
So when he call you, hey, are you okay for a short call? You know it's not a short call.
It's
right?
never gonna be a short
1
call.
hour and a half at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's all good, sharing of ideas, Sometimes also I need to vent my frustration, and then he's always there to listen. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Until my wife thinks, you talking to your girlfriend now. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So
it's Rahman.
yeah,
Yeah.
we spend. I think I spend more time on the phone with Rahman than
Talking
with
to
her. Yeah.
Oh no.
So, but then she's okay with it. Yeah.
alright,
So
alright.
she's cool.
Okay. All right. So, okay, moving on. So, you guys are on different paths in the SYL now. So, Rizal, you with Montfort Junior Primary School, first primary school in the SYL to ever join us, and also Coach Rahman from Flair Football Academy. This is you guys the third season in SYL. Okay, so although both of you are part of the same competition, you're coming into quite different places. Yeah. So maybe I'll pose a question to Coach Rizal first. As a newer team in SYL, what has this experience been like so far for Montfort Junior?
Currently, we are still at the early stage of the league of the season. We've had 2 games so far. First thing that came across my mind was the level of organization. We have to look at the team behind the team. So definitely, I give a lot of credit to the whole operation. We're talking about logistics. We're talking about media. We're talking about even things like
The ice box, like
yeah, or even like fixtures. That's all the back end work, and of course those the website, and the guys going around with their TikTok, Instagram, so fantastic team. But for us in particular, majority have never played in academies, never played in league. So for them to come and then see, hey, wow, it's their absolute first time. It is not the first time for me to see a first reaction. I've seen it before. So whenever these kids, going up against other teams, and then everybody in showing up, lots of different colors and reactions, and very very colorful, very vibrant atmosphere. So the excitement, they were really happy about it. Parents were happy. Parents came down, watched their kids. So very good atmosphere. Yeah, very very happy with it.
Okay, so in contrast, Coach Rahman, for Flair, this is already your third season in the SYL. How has this experience changed over time for your academy?
Okay, first of all, this SYL is a long-awaited league, and finally it's here, and it's our third year. As much as it has been consistent throughout in terms of processes, in terms of how it is being run and all that, there are also, what I'm glad about it is there are improvements. There are improvements about it. Maybe I could share a few simple things like when the ball goes out now. Now you have quite a number of staff behind it.
Oh, yes.
So now and now you even have markers around the field to station the balls, and they are quick to get the, the balls back in. So playtime is
So there's no time wastage.
no
and all.
time wastage. Yes, that is one thing that I'm glad about. And other improvements would be like last time we used to wait for quite a lengthy amount of time for, especially for the U8s and the U10s, because they play 2 matches in a day, you see. But now they cut it down to 1 match waiting time, so shorter, and it's manageable.
This is after the feedback
After the feedback. And then also another thing is that parents are also slightly away from the sidelines.
Parents.
Yeah. So yeah, and Kade, shout out to him as well. So he will get us together at the end of the season, and we discuss and to see how we can improve the league. And he also takes our feedbacks seriously.
Second question, what have you seen in your players over the years when playing the SYL? Any growth?
Definitely,
How has how has SYL helped them in a sense?
Oh, again, with like what Rizal said, play time is necessary. For you to develop players, we need game time. So this platform gives you a lot of game time. In fact, more than any other leagues. I can assure that.
It's every weekend, 6,000 over players, Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
sometimes over the weeknights also, evenings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have that, and we can see the development. You can see the how, I mean, with games, not only do you improve technically or tactically, not only footballing skills you improve on, but also things like managing losses, things like celebrating your wins and all that. You go through such phases, and also how to somehow manage your emotions when you go through games. That is quite necessary, because when they are younger, kids, they are still searching for ways to manage their emotions. So with more experience, more game time, and as coaches also, we give them ideas, suggestions on how to manage themselves. Yeah.
Do you think it's a growth also for sideline supporters? For example, like for parents, I mean, for the 3 years of SYL, I mean, we have seen on the ground the different environment, yeah.
I've also had parents who initially started out like barking away at the sidelines, and then they realize, after a while, that this doesn't work for them. So they take a step back, and also us as an academy, what we do is every year before the start of the season, we do like some kind of a get together, a briefing, and to tell them the do's and don'ts and all that, and the reasons behind it. One main reason about not being too loud on the sidelines or shouting out instructions is that we want to give freedom to the players to make up their minds, you see. And also listening to one guy over there, which is the coaches.
Just one, the coach.
The coach of the day.
Coach of the day, of the match.
Of the match, yeah.
Not many
players
coaches.
have to listen to him, yeah.
So when listening to each other, right, do you think a newer team and a more experienced SYL team can learn from one another?
100%. Yeah. If like, let's say, I mean, when you say team also, which part of the team, are we looking at? Okay, if like, let's say as an organization, management of let's say whether academy or school, yeah, we can learn from other academies, how they're doing things, whether it is in terms of communication, like let's say organization of your team roster. Okay, what kind of or what level that you're looking at, so you kind of pick up cues from other academies. Sometimes all it takes is just sit down, observe other people, how they do things. You can pick up good processes, good practices from that. Coming together, sitting down, having chats, simple informal talks, sometimes even a hi, hello, and then you kind of share ideas, straight away you're learning something. And then as for coaches, coaching staff can also learn something. Every time you're going out, as much as we are talking about development of players, we should also be concerned with development of coaches, and that includes, I mean, we're talking about game time for kids. How about game time for coaches? So that itself, the experience of managing games, of going through a game and then understanding that there are different phases in a game, and then they kind of see things, and then how they react to certain situations with experience, and then there's more preparedness. They kind of can tell, okay, during this situation, okay, I think I should do this. Okay, I should go with this boy, or I should come up with something. There is all that experience that they could learn from, and then from there, then develop their own tools. The kids, the players are always learning something every time they are playing against someone else, apart from training. They are seeing each other between them. So there is a high sense of familiarity. I'm used to it. I know what you do. I know what I can do against you, that kind of thing. But the moment you're going in a game, it is totally some surprise. I'm So there are always reacting. There's always a constant flux of organizing and disorganizing. So they're figuring things out. So so much you can learn.
Okay, Rahman, what keeps Flair committed to the league so far? I mean,
What keeps us committed to the league? Well, first of all, we have built a reputation. So I mean, we also get players in, and fortunately enough, the quality of the teams are generally decent now, and we understand that by putting them through the challenges, they only get better. So I don't see any other leagues lah, basically, that we want to participate in other than the SYL, because it's definitely a great platform for us. Yeah.
all right, so moving on to the next segment. Before we film this episode, right, we asked the SYL Fam, you guys, a few questions on Instagram, and I want to bring some of those responses and questions on to this conversation. And one of the questions we asked was, what matters more in youth football, winning games or player development? So the responses is that 80%, 87% of you mentioned that player development matters more in youth football. And this ties in nicely with a question from SN folks who asked, when do you juggle between winning games and development of the team? I think I think that's something that coaches, many of coaches, players, parents think about. And so from your own perspective, how do you manage that balance? Maybe start from Rahman.
Oh, okay, sure. So this is the thing. First of all, it's the mindset. I feel when you step onto the pitch, you have to have a winning mindset. You have to have the want and the desire to win. But winning cannot be at all cost. Winning cannot. You cannot be neglecting development over winning. So if we already have a certain philosophy or a certain style of play that you want to impart or you want to have within your team, you should be focused and work towards that. And we shouldn't neglect that and perhaps go for something else just for the win. Yeah. Training your training will ensure development, has to ensure development. I mean, match day is when everything comes together. You put all whatever that you've been training for, you put it in the matches, and then you go for it. But development should come from training. Yeah, the way you play, how you approach a game, what you do when you are defending, your shape, your what you do certain moments of the game and all that. Everything should be covered within training. So that in itself is already development. But when you get onto the pitch, first and foremost, when you step onto the pitch, you must want to win. You cannot be stepping into the pitch and saying, "I'm here to develop." Yes, there is development, but the desire to win must be there. So
So the desire must be there. So it's not more about winning the game, but you have to have that winning mentality where, I mean, the players have gone through training and that's where the development comes.
yeah.
Right?
Plus, if you know how to get there, if you are focused on the how to get there, you will get there eventually. If you keep thinking about, okay, today we must win this match, you get yourself in a situation where you get nervous, you get too excited about it. But if you focus on how to get there, trust me, you will get there.
So how about Rizal? How about, do you agree or what's your input on this?
Yeah, I mean, as educators, we are. I mean, yeah. I don't want to use the word philosophy. I would say like the pillars. Yeah, the priorities. Should always be development in how we get better at something. We always tell kids, be better today than you were yesterday. 1% better every day, every day. It's not about being the best. It's just being our best. Just to be our best. But at the same time, sometimes it has gone too binary.
Too binary.
Yeah. So winning, development, as opposed to it. I mean, it is. I see as a continuum. It is. it is part and parcel. Winning is part and parcel of our development. If not, no one would keep score. Or any game for that matter. I mean, we're not just talking about football. We play chess, we play checkers, we play whatever PlayStation. You know, there is a winner and a loser. You know, that is what the game is about. But as much as we say that there is a danger of us focusing on winning, or results, yeah. For me, I see it as results is a byproduct of good development. Yeah. So sometimes we, when we talk about results or excellence, something like that. So excellence has become like frowned upon or a dirty word. You know, we want to be inclusive. We want to be what? Yeah.
Touching on that, right? So does the balance change depending on the age group, or like, for example, or the team is new compared to the team has been in SYL for a long time, so they know like what to expect. So does this balance change?
Age group wise, yes, I believe that I will pay lesser attention on results when it comes to the under eights, for example. Yeah. So the expectation can grow as you grow older. But honestly, for under eights, for me there is zero expectation whatsoever. My expectation is only for them to play the way we want to play. That's all. Yeah. I mean, if they go in there with a mindset to win, okay, good, great. You know, but if they don't, then it has to be completely fine because these are 8-year-olds.
How do you communicate this balance to parents, especially? Yeah, we know that the players play, but ultimately parents also sometimes they have a different mindset from what the coaches want to, impart to the team itself.
I see. Okay, so the way I see it, yeah. Whether or not the coach or the academy or the team, the players have a certain mindset, certain direction that they are going to. Parents might not see it that way. Yeah, parents might, I want this, but I also don't want to discount the fact that a lot of parents are also looking towards development. So it's never like us versus them kind of thing. There are many parents out there who also insist on development, and I believe they are the first ones to say, hey, you lost. Hey, it's okay. Yeah, just pick yourself up. Dust yourself off, and we go again. We look forward to the next game. So it is. I mean, I think we've been in this game long enough to see a mixture of responses, of reactions, be it from coaches or teachers or kids or parents. Yeah. So end of the day, if like let's say within that academy, they have a certain direction, parents might see things differently. So you have to see whether it's a match. Yeah. So as much as the academy might want to educate or impose or let's say provide a certain direction, but it doesn't resonate with the parent. I mean, it's free market, If it's not a match, it's not a match. So nothing personal. Okay, maybe I'll look for some place else that might, reflect more of my desires, my objectives, yeah.
So speaking of reactions, this also ties into our next question, where we also ask the SYL Fam, what helps young players more on match day? Is it encouragement or constant instructions? And we also got a related question from username Hafiz Khalid, who asked, sideline coaching, is it possible to emphasize strongly on discouraging it? Question mark. So perhaps, Coach Rahman, could you touch on this, on sideline coaching?
Okay, so sideline coaching. Sideline coaching is something that perhaps I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. Okay, I believe that there are certain cues that you can provide for the players so that they can perform better. But these cues or this whatever that you are shouting out from the sideline shouldn't be something that influence their decision making when they are on the ball. It shouldn't. It couldn't be like a pass, shoot, dribble or whatever. It shouldn't be that. You should be touching more on stuff like shape, team shape, or creating lanes, stuff like that. Because what annoys me, to be honest with you, is when we hear people shouting, shout, shout, I mean, shoot, shoot, shoot. You don't want to hear that, because sometimes a play is about to, something is about to happen, some combination is about to happen, and then you get some guy from the outside, shoot, shoot, shoot. Then
Perhaps the player wanted to pass to his teammate where the combo like they've been training for, but then nothing's parents be like shoot, and it's like
precisely.
yeah.
So
like sometimes even back to goal and then you're shouting shoot. It doesn't make sense, So maybe you're expecting a shoot, or you're expecting set or whatever, or sometimes two men behind, in front of you, two men between ball and goal, shoot. So
So what kind of sideline behavior actually helps players? So I mean you have mentioned just now, right? I mean about instead of shouting directions, they can actually tell the players to sentences that help make them aware of things.
So perhaps okay, let's say the younger ones, especially younger ones, when they are dribbling, some of them tend to look down. So one thing that you can do is, what can you see? Even by saying what can you see ahead of you, all you have to do is lift up their head and they can see, or you can maybe create a lane. So players will move and create lanes and stuff like that. So the shorter the keywords that you use, you have to figure it out yourself, lah. I mean, then the easier it is for you to provide certain cues for them to get in position, or for them to develop certain habits as they go on. As you go higher and higher, or to older age group, the cues become lesser and lesser, because by then they will be able to understand, okay, already know what to do. But the younger ones, yes, you have to guide them a bit here and there, and definitely encouragement and motivation, especially when they just made a bad pass, yeah. So we can encourage, come on, let's go, let's do this again.
going back to the question again, sideline coaching, whether they
Is it emphasized? Are we able to possibly emphasize strongly to discourage?
to discourage. So having said that, I believe the sharer has a view that should not be. I mean, he's of the opinion that sideline coaching shouldn't happen.
Since he have posed this question,
So
assumingly lah.
okay. So in other words,
Correct us if you're wrong.
yeah. So I'm kind of assuming that there is, okay, looking at the so-called wider community. We're talking about globally, there is a thought or a view that, there's old school coaching, and then there's new school. So old school versus new school, and then one is coach centered, the other is so-called player centered, and then one is instructional, one is experiential, that kind of thing. Yeah. So but like I said also earlier, that so it becomes binary, and then suddenly what is seen as instruction, and then is seen as something that is frowned upon. Give them the freedom to play, something like that. But the thing is, we also must see it from the point of view of the child going through. Sometimes he needs cues, he needs guidance, he needs to be, hey, give me something, so we have had that. I'm clueless, I don't know what's happening. We tend to see it from the point of the adult, thinking that, the adults are controlling, joystick coach or remote control coach, that kind of view. But at certain stage, I mean, you have to look at the individual. He might be at a different stage of development, and he needs stuff. He needs time, and he needs to be. I would want to say to be told, but he needs certain cues or guidance or instructions to understand what he needs to do at the appropriate time. Yeah. So questions also sometimes, okay, we and how we say it also, sometimes it is direct instruction. Okay, turn left, drop, shift to your left, shift to your right, things like that. Yeah. So these are cues normally directed towards man of the ball. So we're talking about shape, we're talking about defensive structure, or if like let's say in support of the man with the ball. So we want to see people making runs, pass, the ball carrier, things like that. So in that sense, we are trying to create the platform for the man on the ball to play too. Yeah. So that at least, oh, I see something. Okay, now I can play here, I can play there, as opposed to just looking down, bulldozing through. Yeah.
All right. So I think what we can agree on is that sometimes the environment around the player can be just as important what happens on the pitch. Okay, so another area we wanted to touch on is hydration and simple match day habits. So it has been a hot few days, actually weeks. I think the temperature is rising, right? Yeah. Whoa, what a tan line. Whoa. And more warm weather is expected in the coming weeks. So this is a good time to talk about hydration and how young players can take better care of themselves on match day. And to make this a little more useful for you guys as well, fam, let's take this conversation out of the studio a bit. I need to go off somewhere. Okay. Hey SYL fam, I am here at Kallang Football Hub Gym, and I could explain hydration myself, but what a better way to get the explanation from an expert, right? And right here with me, I have Terence from the Sport Science and Sport Medicine Department. Hello Terence, let's go. Hi. Good morning. Hi. Please introduce yourself to the SYL fam.
Hi everybody, my name is Terence. I'm a performance coach in the UTR Sport Science and Medicine Department. My main role here is to provide sport science support for coaches and to ensure that our kids are strong and fit enough to take on the demands of football.
So Terence, let's make this football specific. Why does hydration matter so much for players on match day?
In football, or for any sport for that matter, hydration and water is especially critical for the health and well-being of athletes. So essentially, when your body moves, it produces heat. So when your body moves more, at a higher intensity, more heat is being produced by the body. So in a hot and humid climate like Singapore, our bodies experience more heat from the environment, coupled by the intensity of training and matches that the kids play in. So in addition, perspiration is not very easily evaporated from our bodies because of the humidity that we experience in Singapore. This makes our bodies not cool very easily. So this emphasizes the importance of hydration and water in our bodies.
So Terence, any simple reminders for the SYL fam?
Simple. Take any opportunity to drink. Water is your best bet. The details are here.
So, Terence, what if a player suddenly feel dizzy?
If you feel unwell, just stop, sit down immediately, and your coaches will make the necessary changes. Never feel pressured to perform when you're injured or feeling unwell, as this may aggravate the injury or even be something worse.
So there you hear it, SYL fam. Football starts with good habits. Stay hydrated, stay sharp, and
Stay prepared.
yeah, stay prepared. Okay, and thank you very much, Terence, for that wonderful tips on hydration. And I have to go back to the studio. So
See you.
See you. Hi guys, I'm back. That was quick. Quick, yeah. So moving on to our next segment is Ask Anything segment. So we actually asked the SYL fam, we invited the SYL fam to ask questions, whatever it may be lah. And we have received quite a lot of questions, and this is by Nashandino101. His question is 6-7. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3. 6, 7. Okay, moving on. Shafiamal.8. Do you enjoy your job? I do.
I love my job.
Oh, love your job.
Me too.
Yeah, okay, nice. Jurassic_Park_44. Hi, Coach Rizal, your former player Gerard here. What do you think about SYL? You already say it lah. You replay again, right? Or maybe you want to shout out to him.
Shout out to Gerard.
Okay, moving on. Norm Markin. The question is, must still study hard to become a professional footballer?
Must study lah. Definitely in Singapore you have to study lah. I know there's no two ways about it. You can still enjoy the football, but definitely you cannot neglect your studies.
Study hard, don't neglect your studies, but still enjoy football. This is to Coach Rahman also. E1LV Shah. For Coach Rahman, how did you gradually improve as a coach in all aspects, if possible? Wow.
If possible, wow, if
So I
possible,
can take
one
the whole
episode.
already. Okay, anyway, just touch on.
So I think first of all you need to have a focus. You need to focus on what you want to deliver to your players. You need to have an idea what you want to impart. Then only then can you gather what works and what doesn't. Because there's a lot of things out there. Any coach can go to YouTube and get anything they want. Sessions everywhere. So many methods. But it's going to tire you out if you are going to try out every single thing. So first of all, you need to find really your focus, your objectives, and then after that work towards that. And then you need to have the experience also to do it over a certain period of time to know what works and what doesn't. And self-reflection is also very important. Like after a session, then you think about it. Oh, what could have been better this session? Something is not right here. What can we tweak to make it a little better? And it also helps to have an assistant or a group around you to discuss certain things. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that's it from the SYL Fam, the questions. Moving on, so to close, I'd like to ask both of you for one final message. So perhaps we go from this way. Coach Rizal, what message would you like to leave for your players, parents, or for the wider SYL Fam out there?
I would say enjoy our time together. I would say everything goes by in a blink of an eye. So enjoy our time together and make full use of it. Have fun while doing it. At the same time, also have an attitude of gratitude. Be thankful for what we have. Let's go with a bang.
Bang. All right. How about you, Coach Rahman? What would your message be?
My message would be enjoy the game. Okay, it's the game that we love. Okay, enjoy it. Finally, you will never walk alone.
I'm sitting beside two Liverpool fans here. Wow. Okay. So, any last shout out to whoever you want? I give you a quick 1 minute. Or less than 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Okay, shout out to I have to do the shout out. Shout out to my boss Ibrahim and also to my wonderful team of coaches. Thank you very much for your dedication. We're looking forward to continue working with you guys.
Big shout out to everyone at Montfort Junior. You know who you are. All my bosses, all my good friends here, my coaches, the parents, and of course the boys.
Thank you once again to our two guests for joining our episode 3 of the OTS. This is our first episode of 2026, and hopefully a reminder that youth football is about more than just the results. It's about development, support, values, community, and making sure we create the right environment for our young players to grow. So thank you to the SYL Fam out there for your questions and responses. The next episode we'll do the same thing, so yeah, do come in with your questions, and some of which help to shape today's conversation. And with that, see you in the next episode of OTS!